What's up, everybody? It is another day, Monday, and it's a newsworthy Monday. The YouTube streets is popping. The people are talking. If you haven't heard, Cardi B won the case against Tasha K. And so everyone's live right now talking about it. But we are moving along with business as usual. I'm sure you will hear my take. Usually I jump on Real Talk with Melissa Varian on Fridays, and then Say Something Saturdays. We're going to cover it with Dana, and then hop on the after show on my channel on Saturday. So I'm gonna bring up my friends. Oh, let me show y'all something real quick. It's a thing, guys. So I have discussions with people that I know, went to college with, friends that grew up with, whatever, and we always talk about topics. Sometimes we'll, hop on, and sometimes they're like they don't want to join. But either way, dating was a topic that I think was worth talking about, and we just gonna get into it. So y'all know Mariah, she's no stranger. What's up, Mariah?
Hey.
Lauren. Hey, Lauren.
What's up? What's up?
And then Kim May, the
Hey.
beautiful Kim May. And then we got one more person joining us. And when she's ready, I'll bring her up. Give me the thumbs up if you're ready. I don't want to just like throw you up there, Mari. Okay. And last we got Mariana. Hey, Mari.
Hey.
Um, so the topic today is dating. Why is dating so hard? Everybody has channels talking about relationships. Obviously, no one is a stranger to Kevin Samuels, but that's the person where everybody feels like, oh, he's the godfather. He knows all. And recently, he made a post about, or he went viral talking about dating before a certain time. And so we're going to get into like, what are the rules of dating, like rules to the game, and we're going to talk about all of that. But before we do, I kind of want to touch on get an understanding from each of you how you interpret dating, because even Dope Financial Wealthy, he like responded. He said dating is hard because we shouldn't be dating, we should be courting. Okay, I don't want to say
That's
some
exactly what I was going to get into.
so exactly, but and even though we know there's a distinction, I think overall the culture that we live in right now, dating is like there's no such thing as courtship. If you were to ask us 10 years ago, 5 years ago, courtship was on the table, but I don't think people see courtship as a thing. So I'm gonna just go around like that. So Mariah, Lauren, Kame, and with you, Mariana, just how would you define dating?
I think people, a lot of times, they use dating and courting as if they're interchangeable, and they're not. I feel like dating is more so just trying to have fun, getting to know people. It's mostly just fun. You're not necessarily um, trying to like find somebody that you're going to marry necessarily. Like, you might be open to it, but your main goal is to just get out there and get to know people.
Okay. All right. I have a question for that, but I'm gonna hold on to it. Lauren, how would you define dating?
I would say dating and courtship are one and the same. I mean, you could hook up and do whatever, but to me, if you're gonna sit there and date somebody, take them out, get to know them, spend all this time and money, then it should be for a reason. So I would say those two are kind of the same thing.
Okay, to you. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, Kame. Kame.
It's funny because I kind of agree with both of you. Dating, I feel like, until we have some type of common ground in terms of exclusivity, it's kind of like, we hanging out, you may date other people, I may date other people, but until we have made it clear that we're going to be exclusive with one another, then the courting begins.
Okay, yep. That's kind of the vibe I get. All right, Mariana, what would you say?
I would agree with like what everyone said. I think dating is really like exploring romantically like other people, to
Mm-hmm.
sum it up. Like dating and courting can be synonymous, but it really depends on the intentions of like both people, I think.
So,
So
and I think like our definitions kind of are somewhat similar, but when you think about 2022, like in this day and age that we're in, when you hear the word dating, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Typically,
The ghetto.
the ghetto.
Okay,
Okay.
the project, Mariah. Exactly.
Going out.
For me, sex came to mind. Like not for me, but like when people say dating, they automatically assume you're having sex with that individual. And so I think that's the issue for me is with that on people's brain, men and women alike. Like I'm dating around, that means I get to experiment, I get to see, I get to figure out what I want and don't want. That makes it difficult for people who actually want and desire something more than just boyfriend girlfriend situation, right?
And that's why I say that I don't think those terms are interchangeable, because as long as you're interchanging them, people are going in with different expectations and interpretations of what that means. Like if the two people think they're dating and one of them has a courting mindset and the other one just has a dating around mindset and they have not ever talked about it, then that's just going to lead to some miscommunications down the road.
So then okay, so since everybody has different definitions, one would think there should be rules. There's rules to the game, right? So if everybody's operating like in Black culture, you know how we have things where it's like unsaid, unspoken rules, whatever. What are the rules to the game? And so the backstory behind that is one day I got so fed up with, and we're gonna talk about dating apps in a minute, but I got so fed up with like dating apps and stuff, and or just the things that I was, you know, finding out or whatever. And I jokingly Googled dating for dummies. Like there's got to be a dating for dummies book, and there actually is. And so that made me realize, like, okay, so there's actually rules to the game, and depending on who you talk to, they're like, yes, this is the formula. Do y'all believe that there is a formula? And if so, what are your rules to the game? And feel free to jump in.
I feel like there should be a formula. I don't. I'm gonna let somebody else go.
It should be a formula, but I don't know the formula.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be a formula, because like if you're using the same formula with every person, then something is, I don't know. Like I don't want your formula to be like, all right, like every first date got to be like this vibe. Like after that, I'm doing this, that. Like no, I feel like it should be like a flow to it. Like you're bouncing off of each other, kind of thing.
Right. I would agree. Let me read. Eugene said, yes, sex is what people equate with dating nowadays. Back in my day, dating is just getting to know somebody and having a good time with someone. That's what I thought too. But then you get statements like Kevin Samuels the other day talking about you should expect sex after a certain time. Well, who said sex was even on the table?
Right.
And then everybody's like, well, we're sexual beings. Like you get that whole conversation. So yeah. Okay. So I agree with you that it should be a natural flow, natural progression. Then something else you also have to take in consideration. People are like awkward in 2022, socially awkward. We have been like, these people have been behind phones, whatever, and they don't know how to talk to people. So it just makes it like that much more difficult to navigate this dating scene.
And that's why we can't compare it to what was going on back in the day. They barely had phones.
I feel like
no, really. You know
what
I'm saying? Like they had to go out on dates. It wasn't, oh, I'm gonna text you to death, or I'm gonna talk to you on the phone all day. It was like we actually have to meet up, have dinner. We actually have to meet up, get to know one another. And it's like, I'm not just taking you straight home just because I met you today.
Right.
When I say formula, I think in the very beginning, I feel like more people should get comfortable asking like what your goals are, what your intentions are, like what you're looking for before anything else happens. Just so you know, like, is the person just dating just to date around, or do they have the goal to get married?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that's, as far as formula goes, that would save a lot of confusion. Just in my opinion,
a conversation up front, just to kind of set the tone of
before you even go out and do.
Are we dating just to get to know one another, or are we intentional with this dating process and we're planning to do more than that?
Right. Because somebody I just was hearing talk yesterday, she was saying she's not interested. Like, she's not looking for a man. She's not trying to get married. She just wants to go out on dates. So she's dating as many people as she can. So a man,
one of my clients said that to me the other day.
For a man that's trying to looking for a wife, he's not gonna want to be with somebody that's just going out on dates and
So did you ask her? Does she make that known up front that she not looking for nothing? And
yeah, she said she does. She'll let the guy know, like, I got another date coming up Thursday. So
yeah, one of the client that I'm talking about said that she's been dating this guy for 3 years and they're not exclusive. She said she doesn't see herself marrying him. She doesn't see any of that, but they hang out often. I said, so y'all been dating for 3 years? That's not your boyfriend at this point? No, we just hang out. We just kick it. He knows what it is. I said,
I'm finding that more men are okay with that. Lauren, what do you think about all this?
I mean, if you cool with that, then yeah. But if you somebody that has a goal in mind as far as like marriage and stuff like that, then you may not be cool with that.
Right.
So it just depends. Just because to me, it's not like a necessary formula. It's just certain elements have to be involved. If you guys are
certain conversation
going out and he's paying for it and y'all talking on the phone all the time and all this other stuff, then to me, that is dating. Anything else is just a hookup or a hangout at that point, which is fine too. But you know, whatever goals you want with dating is fine. It's just I define dating as having those particular elements in there. So not necessarily a formula, but just those elements make it dating. Because now you're in the public, you're doing all this other stuff for what?
So here's my thing. So it really sounds, the fact that you said that, Mariah, and you said that, Kimmy, about like people just dating just to date, I think they need to just use a different term. Okay, like just say you hanging out and don't use the word dating, because it messes it up for people that are actually looking for something, just in my opinion. Because the moment when you do that, you hurt people. Like, people can be like, oh yeah, I'm cool with that, whatever, but no, people have feelings. Men are emotional, women are emotional. Feelings will be attached, and the moment you don't get what you want from a person, or something doesn't go the way that you want, you're hurt, you're bruised, your ego's bruised, and then you start to categorize all women based on this one chick or this one dude who did you dirty, or you misinterpreted, or whatever, right? So yeah, somebody said just say we kicking it. Just that's all you got to say. Don't even say dating, right?
But if they're going out on dates, isn't dating the act of going on dates?
Y'all hanging out. Because I mean, if they just friends. You don't have a title, so when you go out with your girlfriends, you don't say you going on a date with your girlfriends. Y'all just want to hang out.
You're going on friend dates.
I don't call it a date. I'm just like, I'm saying what we doing. I'm hanging out with my homegirl. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. We going to do X, Y, and Z, right? Like,
it's a lot of gray areas though. Because like, what if they do consider it dating? What if they don't consider it just kicking it? They might really consider themselves dating these people. I don't know.
Okay, so
semantics.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's really messing up the game, the quote unquote game. Okay, so back to this rules of the game, right? So we're going to set the stage as if, dating is actually looking for something more, like you're dating for a purpose to be a wife, a husband. What are the rules? So for example, I have been told that the speed in which you text back matters. Like you don't text back too quick. So when I say rules, like what are some things that are like are absolutes to dating? If you want to be successful in dating, what do you need to be mindful of? And I know that sounds so dumb because I thought it was dumb too, but apparently some people got this in their little ebooks and stuff, and like the timing. It's listen.
I don't know, because if I want to talk to you, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I hate that.
I would rather have a in-person conversation rather than a phone conversation or text conversation in reality. So it's just kind of like, if I am texting you, I want a flowing conversation. Like if you text me, I'm going to text you back. I need a flowing conversation, because if it takes you 2 hours to text me back, or takes me 2 hours to text you back, it's kind of like, what's the point?
If you worried about
where we left off, or do we start talking about something else? I would rather do a face-to-face or FaceTime, or I really don't like regular calls just because I like to look at people when I'm talking to them. But, I would rather that type of interaction rather than texting. So I can't even really tell you. I don't have any rules to that game. I'm texting back, because if I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Kimmy. I do. I also prefer FaceTime or in person. I just like looking at the person I'm talking to. But if you gotta try to say, okay, I don't want to text back too fast, I don't want to sing this and that, don't even text me. Like, don't bother texting me.
Because why are we playing this childish game?
Because if you're not busy, if you busy, that's one thing. But to try and not look a certain type of way, you bye. Because I'm not doing. If I want to talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah. Mariana, what do you have to say? And that was just one example.
Like, if I want to talk to you, I want to like talk to you. But what I'm not gonna do is carry a conversation with you via text message. It's not gonna work out. We gotta move this to a date. We gotta move this to a phone call, a FaceTime. I'm not having a conversation with you via text. I don't have the patience for that. It's not.
Somebody said, I'm not sitting around crapping my fingers texting all day. Right. That's fine. And I'm not saying text versus call. What I'm saying is, so I'll give you an example. I was talking to a guy, this is a few years back, and like he would text me and I would text back, you know, a conversation, because it's during work hours. We're not about to sit on the phone and talk, but like during the day, we'll text or whatever. Then out of nowhere, it was just like, yeah, I'm not going to move forward just because it feels like you're courting me and I'm not courting you. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he was just like, you text back too quick. And I was like, so, but I have heard like you have to appear busy. So when I say rules to the game, it's not just text. Are there any other nuances that you've heard that people say, young, old, or peers or whatever, that say, yeah, you have to do this in order for people to see you in this light and be successful in this relationship or be successful in any relationship? So I've heard texting. I've heard you have to be busy all the time. You have to play hard to get. That's a rule. You have to, like, there's all these different rules. So I'm just like, what's the playbook?
Listen, I don't play by anybody's playbook. If I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you. This playing hard to get. I feel like so many things that are in this playbook are childish.
Right. Tell us what's in the playbook, though. I want us to lay it out so we can unpack it. Like, so I'm laying out the texting. I'm laying out looking busy. I'm laying out, you know, the time. What rules have you heard that are like, that's dumb, I'm not following that, but people are saying do these things to be successful and find you a man? Like, have y'all heard of any? Do y'all know of any? None?
I just saw what did I see the other day? Because I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff because it's so dumb. And I feel like it's way more important things that you should be considering when dating somebody. But somebody said when you're vetting a guy, you need to mention something, a problem you're having in life, to see what he does, what type of offer he makes. So, for example, if you tell him it's something going on with your car, like you need an oil change or something.
Oh, I heard that.
He should offer something like that.
Basically, they're saying like present a problem and see if he's going to be quick to fix it. Right. Like that's going to be telling. I've heard that too. Okay. Anybody else heard?
I would fail that because if this is new, I would be like, damn, that's crazy.
Right.
What you gonna do?
You don't got no daddy you could call?
Okay.
See, this is what I want to uncover though. So Thunder Sound said all these rules make people good at dating, not long-term relationships. So this is what I want to unpack, y'all. Like, I don't know everybody's like relationship status, but we've all been single. We're millennials, right? We're knee deep in this dating pool that has pee in it, right? And so I'm really trying to get the people to understand what we're up against, because I mean, I'm in these YouTube streets. I'm a part of these conversations, and you have people driving the conversation saying this is how it is, this is how it should be, and it's like, well, I'm in it and this is what I'm experiencing. That's not the reality. These are the things we're battling against. We're battling up against the speed at which you text back, how you need to pose a problem to get them to act. Like, why is this a performance? Why we can't just be ourselves? Like, that's what I'm trying to get to, you know. And shout out to Eugene for the super chat. He said, here's a rule that I always follow. Never let sex be your first priority. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
The moment you welcome sex into anything, it makes it complicated.
What are some nuances related to sex though? Like, what are some of the rules or unspoken rules related to sex? Like, I always wonder how men feel because you know they be trying, and they have these what do you call it? Like for example, a man might feel like, okay, if this girl gives it up too quickly, I know not to take her seriously. But that don't
Right.
stop him from trying to get it quickly. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's what I want to talk about is, and I literally just said this to somebody. I was like, yeah, you know, it was actually somebody I had relations with, right? And I was just like, yep, I knew in that moment that it will never be because I unfortunately gave it up. And
Yeah.
he was
But
like,
I'll
no,
say, go ahead, say what he said because it's
he,
something I'm about to say.
yeah, he was just like, that's not true. And I was just like, well, how? Because I mean, your energy shifted. Your energy is different. I'm getting I'm gonna just call you when I want some energy. That's the energy I'm getting. I'm not getting, I want to get to know you more. I'm interested in your day. Like, or, the typical moves that you see when they actually trying to get in the pants or trying to get you is different. Once you give it to them, it just falls off.
And it's funny because they'll say that. They'll say, no, no, whatever. But your actions show something completely different.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I agree. Lauren, Mariana.
For me, I don't think that really matters if he really likes you from the beginning. But I mean, it's hard to know that obviously sometimes. But if he really likes you from the beginning, that doesn't matter whether you give it up quick or not.
I think it
But
varies
I do
from
think,
person to person too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I do think it is like it should be a time limit on that. Like you shouldn't wait too long either. I mean, at some point this needs to grow, which is what I was going to say earlier. As far as like the rules or the layout or whatever, it's just certain things need to happen at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
if you consider yourself dating seriously, then yeah. So that's my thing with
I
that.
think
But
that relates to courting versus dating also because not me specifically, but if a person maybe they felt like they didn't want to have sex with somebody too soon or before they knew that it was serious, like when you're courting, if you and that person have talked about it, like, look, I'm looking for somebody that I'm gonna marry, you seem like a good candidate for that. So I would like to get to know you. We go out exclusive, all that type of stuff. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you really need maybe so much of a time limit on that versus somebody that you just like, hey, let's go get dinner. Hey, what you doing for lunch next week? Let's do, I think that's,
Yeah.
I
if
agree.
that makes sense.
I don't know.
What?
I feel like that sex thing is kind of like really taboo because you could wait. Now you can wait 30, 90, 30, 60, 90 days and then have sex with somebody and it still not work out. Like I know people who have had sex on the first date and they've been dating for 5 years and going strong.
boom.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like it's really a matter of whether or not we really want this to be a thing.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think I have been in a position where like the talk is good at the beginning. Like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. You fit the bill. Vibe is cool. But whoop de boop. But then the moment you engage, then the whole thing shifts. So then that's when you get the people who be selling you dreams and stuff. Um, what is it? So Era Black TV said, everyone do what you feel for real and everything will shake out in honesty. If you run in games, well then in itself, that's never respectful. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. What else are people saying in the chat?
Can we see the chat or no?
Yeah, you can. It says comments on the
Oh,
side. Julia said it don't matter when a woman gives it up.
To
That means,
you.
yeah.
right. So there it is. Like it kind of just depends on the
Yeah,
man
the
and the
person,
woman in
yeah.
the situation.
Yeah.
I
All
don't think
right.
it's really a rule to that. They say
So
it is. Oh, I have this 90-day rule, and then you give him sex on the 91st day, and he still pack up and leave your ass. Now what?
Right. You didn't
right.
wasted them 90 days. You could have spent with somebody else.
Right. That's true. So let's unpack this whole Kevin Samuels conversation, because that's kind of what made me want to talk about dating and the rules to dating. Because 1 minute is, women are too involved in their work And the next, it's like, it's all of these things we have to quote unquote follow. Obviously, I'm making an example, everybody, for all the Kevin Samuel haters who start pouncing on me like, why do you even listen to him, guys?
Right. Don't even bring his name up.
Right. Relax. Relax.
Relax.
But he made a statement like women shouldn't go out before 5. And so we don't have to debate on whether or not that's true or not. But let's talk about that concept of, does timing matter when you go out? Like all of that. Does timing matter? Like, okay, so for example, you know how when you get roses, different color roses mean different things. Like a friendship rose is a color, romantic rose is a different color. Would you say dates, like a coffee date, means something different than a dinner date, or a would you say
I
that?
slowly learned that men don't take certain things as seriously as women do.
We got
if they take you
completely
to coffee
different
or take you to dinner, they still feel like they took you on a date.
Right.
For real. If they get you flowers, oh, she like flowers, they're not thinking about, let me get red, let me get yellow, let me get carnations, let me get tulips, let me get sunflowers. They like, I'm just gonna get my boo some little flowers. And now you on Google like, what do sunflowers mean? And they wasn't thinking about that
at all.
they were not thinking about that. I think sometimes we take things just a little too seriously in terms of that type of stuff. But time, I don't know. I get off work late. So for me, it's kind of like, if I want to hang out, be hanging out. I get off work late. So if I call you at 8:00, hey, what's up? Let's go to happy hour somewhere. Let's do, you know what I'm saying? Let's get food. It might be late, but that don't necessarily mean I'm giving you no butt.
Right.
If I want to give you butt, I'm gonna give you butt. But you know what I'm saying? I don't think the time necessarily means anything.
Yeah.
Like I have heard little things like, what is it? Like legs open after stuff.
Right.
Little stuff like that. But it's just kind of like, we're living in a day and age where women are actually working. We are going, you know what I'm saying? We're doing long term, like we're working long days just like men are. So it's kind of like, if I want to date you during the week, it may be after 5. Nobody's really getting off work before 5:00.
That's true. That's what I said. I was like, dang, I get it. I know that how they say, like, for me, it's like, if I go somewhere with somebody after 11:00, I can't be mad. It's prime time. You know what I mean? It's prime time.
Hours.
It's prime time.
It's prime time, baby.
It's prime time. So I can't really be mad. I said, but 5. I was like, I'm just now closing out my email at 5. Like,
okay, I'm taking my last client at 5:00. I'll text you at 8:30.
So he was saying, don't go out after 5.
If we don't want to, if we don't want sex on the table. So he's saying basically, if you go out anytime after 5, sex is on the table, and we can't get mad that if he suggests or makes advances or talks about sex. Because I am one of those people who be tripping. I'd be like, dang, why we always got to talk about sex? Why it always got to be sexual? Like, that's the quickest way for me to ignore you. Like, I was having a really great conversation with this one guy, and then all of a sudden he just started. I don't want to say what he said.
Please tell us.
Right, you might as well now.
Dude was like, someone sucking my toes, and I was like, damn, everything was going good. Right. I just delete. Like, why you had to go there?
Another one bites the dust.
Why? And it was just, he was a cool dude, but I was just like, why we got to go there? Why? I hadn't even met I hadn't even met the dude. So okay, this goes to, and it was on a dating app, y'all. So if y'all want context, we were just having a conversation in the messaging thing or whatever, and then that's when he hit me with that, and I was just like, damn, you just made it weird. Next, like. So anywho, I know TJ said, dang, I just came on and you talking about sucking toes, girl. All right, so what's the craziest that we're going to tell, if y'all are open to sharing some dating stories, because I want to make it interesting, or not really interesting, but just share some things, because again, we are millennials living in this really crappy dating pool or dating world. Like, what are some like dating stories that you've gotten, good or bad? Yeah. And if you could say if it was on an app, because our next conversation is going to flow into like dating apps, yay or nay. But yeah, let me know dating stories if it was in person or on an app. If y'all got any.
It's something funny that just came to my mind. I haven't been on apps in a very long time, But this boy I met on Facebook, we had met up to hang out, and he was younger. But we was just sitting there talking, and he looked at me. He was like, "You got a chin hair."
What?
And I was just like, "Why would you say that?" Like, he's like, "Well, you wouldn't want to know." I'm like,
well, he's right though, Mariah. But you want to know?
So, why would you like? What would possess that? Wouldn't make you feel some type of way if somebody just out of nowhere was.
I personally would be like, well, dang, thank you. Do you have tweezers?
Like
I'll keep
no
it going. I mean, it depends. Did you just meet him? Like, was it a first encounter?
That might have been my second time seeing him in real life.
Oh, well, he thought he could play with you like that.
Yeah.
He thought he could joke around like that. Maybe did you really have a chin hair?
Yes.
Oh. Maybe he thought he could say that.
Taya said, damn, how close was he to your face?
He was sitting right next to me.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like you should have let that slide.
You know, I wonder, that is my biggest fear though, for a dude to be like, hey, you got tissue on your shoe, baby.
Right.
That tissue on the shoe is terrible.
Hey, your dress is tucked in your drawers. I don't know what I would do.
You got a booger hanging out your nose.
Like,
that's funny. I don't know. I don't really have any like weird, like not even weird, but funny dating stories, because in all honesty, like anybody I've ever dated, and like I just recently, like now that I live in California, just recently started getting into like just dating apps and like doing random stuff like that. But anybody I dated in the past has always been somebody that was already my friend.
Okay.
So it was already a comfortable situation. Like I just started dating strangers. So it's just kind of like I don't really have any like crazy stories. I do know now that I am on this dating app, people always come because I'm tall and it's always sexy long leg. I want to climb that tree, my Amazon queen. I just be like,
yes.
Okay, bye. No.
Mickey said, "Nah, man, the door with your helpful ass."
Okay, you feel me? I'm like, man, I don't even want to talk to you no more.
So another thing that kind of turns me off that I've experienced is, I don't know why men, and Lauren, I'm gonna need you to jump in and defend your mans, your boys, okay? But I don't know why men feel like their entry point to like trying to get to know somebody or getting the attention of somebody is to try to flame them. Like, first off, you don't even know me or my sense of humor, so I get this a lot. Oh, you not from here? You from Detroit? Oh, you hood then? You gangster?
They love that.
Then they say, oh, you can't play spades. You trash at spades. Like, my guy, you don't know me. Like, try me. Like, one, I'm a champion. Like, don't play me. Like, I got the skills. Okay. So why is the insult like the entry point to like trying to talk to me? Because that's the first way to get blocked.
I mean, it depends on how severe it is. Like, some of that is just playful banter, right? Because we are competitive. Like, most guys are competitive, so they want to see what type of competitive fire you got too. So sometimes, in a way to be funny and to be competitive and be fun, we'll say something like that. At least I do. But I just try not to cross a certain line. Some guys be crossing the line. So it just depends on how severe the joke is.
Yeah. Mariana.
You can't be talking about no sensitive stuff like weight and nothing like that. I mean.
Well, I've gotten that too. Mariana.
Damn.
Shit, it was
getting too familiar.
Oh wait,
I can't hear.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I can hear you now.
I've probably been the one on the other end of that for sure. But like, only the strong will survive. Like, you either gonna get with the humor or you're not. So yeah, I feel like there's like, you can tell when someone is like too sensitive for like those kind of jokes though too. So you can't just like be out the gate saying something that's like debatably rude, but you can try them a little bit. But I think it's different when it's a girl to a guy versus a guy to a girl.
Yeah. And it's also, it's not even just like taking the shots at or what Thunder Sound said. I checked to see if she has a good sense of humor. A lot of cute women are extremely boring. Okay, so like I get the playful banter, but it's like this generalized, like, so I want to pull up a chat and just like read the dialogue, but I'm not gonna do it. So, but it usually goes like this, like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm good. You look, this picture was cute. Thank you. Um, I'm sure you got a whole bunch of dudes in your inbox. How do you like? I'm not gonna respond to that. How do you want me to respond? Yeah, I do. Like,
You're right.
like, right, okay, and
You hit
then
the nail on the head, buddy.
right, and then it's like how y'all women do da da da, and it's like again this whole idea of like attacking women or trying to generalize as a way to again get at me. Like I don't think that's help the men
I
like
have an
with their
example.
game.
I
Yeah,
got
go
an
ahead,
example
Mariah.
of that too. That happened to me. It was a complete stranger on Instagram. I had went to this biking event and they had posted something from a different one. They went to Houston or something, and I commented on it. And a boy, he responded to my comment, and then he DM'd me. He was like, "Oh, were you in Houston? I didn't know you were down there or something." And I was like, "No, I didn't go." And he was like, "Oh, I was gonna say you must not have been that memorable."
Like
That's out of
what?
line.
Like how do
I
you
just
get
didn't even
memorable?
But
respond.
see,
Why would you say that? Like,
but
Like what
see,
was
that's
the
what I
point?
said. Like it's a certain level of doing it. Like some guys just come all the way from left field and they
I
barely know a
don't know
chick
you.
with the joke. So they got to be within the flow of the conversation and something that's kind of lighthearted. But I think somebody said that we nervous. It's not that we nervous. It's just a way to see somebody uptight too. Because some people they don't take the jokes, and some girls do. They take it and it's cool, and then you make a whole conversation out of that.
Yeah.
So it's
Because
just
one,
another way to
I
make
play too much.
conversation.
So if you hit me with a joke, I'm hitting you with one right back.
I have
So
a
you
great
can't
sense of
take
humor.
offense. My joke was better than yours.
Right.
That's all
I,
I can say.
I get told all the time that I'm super funny. So I'm like, yeah, like I can go back and forth with you. I grew up with brothers, okay? Like jokes was
Exactly.
our thing. Like I'm not a stranger to that. But come on, there's a limit now.
Yeah,
You're a
you got
stranger.
it's some type of level of comfortability you got to have before you can joke in a certain type of way with me.
Yes, yes,
Like you don't
yes,
know me at all. You're not about to be rude to me.
exactly. All right, so Kame mentioned dating apps. Both Kame and I are in LA, so um, all of y'all are in Detroit. So I think definitely location definitely plays a part on whether or not apps are quote unquote widely accepted or not shunned upon or whatever. But in a environment like LA is super large, there's really no way you're gonna meet like the people or everybody. Detroit, I feel like is big, but it's also kind of small. So I can kind of see why apps is like, what, you on an app in Detroit? That's wild, right? Like I think I could see that. But so dating apps, yay or nay? Would you do it? Have you done it? What have been your experiences?
Well,
Well,
when I moved to California, that's when I started with this dating app thing. And like I told you before, like I had never really done strangers before. So before I was kind of weird about it. And it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know about this. I don't think this is gonna work out. Or I'm too scared I'm gonna be getting catfish. I don't want to pull up somewhere and it's not the person that I've been talking to.
right.
Like this is weird. But I'm also one of those people, I'll have a conversation with you. And if I feel like this is going nowhere, I'll just ghost you. So I've been on 2 dates from the app. 2. One didn't work out because once we actually met, it was just kind of like blah. The second one, but the second one is kind of like currently like an ongoing thing. But and it's been a thing for like 3 months. But I still don't know. I don't know where this is really going. But it's been a vibe. Like we've been out on multiple dates. Like we hang out, we kick it. It's cool. It's a vibe. So I feel like in California, it's a little different because the Black people here, and I'm not no shade to any other race, but I want a Black man. So it's just kind of like the community here. Like you really have to. I live in the Valley. I don't live in LA. Like I live in like a predominantly like white Mexican area. So it's just kind of like finding Black men out here where I am is kind of scarce. So absolutely, I'm down for the app calls, and like he don't even live in the Valley. So it's just kind of like you have to go into LA to find Black people. So the app was just kind of like really convenient and easy. it's been a thing. We,
Mhm.
oh,
All right. Lauren, you're no stranger to app building because you have an app yourself. Shameless plug. Go download it, date nights. But go
nice.
ahead. Yes. Lauren, have you experienced online or dating apps?
Besides mine, which is not really like
A
those
dating
apps,
app.
but
Right, right.
no, I'm anti-app only because to me it's like it's easier to do it on social media because now I can see a history of you. I can see like what people you know to kind of verify you and make sure you're real and make sure, you know what I'm saying? I can kind of get a lot of information about you versus just seeing a stranger on an
Sorry
app
on
that
that.
might catfish you or be on
But
something weird.
now the apps are linked to your Instagram, so you need to go ahead and get on the app. You know,
It's true.
I
It's
think
true.
somebody
the
said
app
in the
is linked
chat,
to
there's a
your
lot of weird
Instagram
people
now,
on there.
honey.
They do link it to your Instagram now. We're
But you
gonna
I
use certain
guess.
apps for certain things because like Tinder is for something completely different than Hinge is. If you're on Hinge, typically people on Hinge are actually looking to be in relationships. People are Tinder are looking to have sex. People on like Bumble are like younger people just really looking for like people to socialize with. Like it's really different. And I just recently learned this.
That's interesting.
But different apps are for different things.
Yeah,
Just to put that out there.
not, nah.
You should try it.
I always heard
I'm
that
more
about
old
Tinder. I didn't
fashioned.
know if it was like an official thing.
Everybody on Tinder want to bump.
It's like it's one of those unspoken things. I don't think they
Right.
market themselves to be like, hey,
Right.
this
Yeah,
is
they don't market it like
this is
that.
a
Tinder,
smash
the
and
actual
dash.
Tinder
That's
Yeah.
app. I
just kind
never
of
heard
like
of
what
it.
I found in terms of like just being on random apps and like I seen something else on social media like that, and it was just kind of like, dang, that's crazy because that's the same experience that I had on like you know what I'm saying on this app. I've never been on Bumble, but I've been on Tinder and I've been on Hinge, and like the stuff that I found on Tinder was like, dang, straight out the gate, you trying to get butt? Okay,
Yeah.
bye. On
Damn.
Hinge, it's kind of like, hey, you want to go out on a date? You want to kick it? You know, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. And it's like, oh, okay.
I've heard a lot of success from Plenty of Fish. Like I know
I didn't know that one.
two people that have been married. They met their spouse on Plenty of Fish. Though I've heard mixed reviews about Plenty
I
of
think
Fish.
that is that POF, the Mickey
Yeah.
song?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Plenty of fish.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fish and mingle.
Yes. Mariana.
Mingle.
Hey, we'll talk. Wait, we're going to talk about online dating versus app dating. I think they're two different things because I do have some experiences from Match.com. Because at one point I was like, I'm sick of life. I need to find somebody and join Match.com, and it was just tragic. It was so tragedy. Mariana, what are your take? What's your take on dating apps? I done it all, y'all. This is crazy.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Not happening. No way. If you see me on the dating app, something is something is going wrong. Like something is off. Like somebody is using my picture. I'm down bad. Like no. Like I'm too much. I'm too much of a hopeless romantic to ever want to be on a dating app. Like I can't do it. Like I need to organically meet you. I need to see you live. Like I need to see before I even can.
I think it's different for us, Lauren, because we're in California.
But no, but I'm saying
we don't really meet people.
It's the hopeless romantic in me that is like I can find love from anywhere. Like that's why I'm just like I hear you, but like I don't hear you because I'm like if I can't find it being in the grocery store, at Barnes and Noble, and at the mall, then
And they're not in there.
I know that they're not nowhere.
They are nowhere. You have to find them, and that's why dating apps are a thing in California. I know so many people who like one of my clients. Her and her boyfriend met on a date. They met on I think they met on Tinder. But they've been together for 5 years. Like my homeboy, like all of the girlfriends that he's had, he met on apps. I think in California it's a thing just because it's so many people here and people are scattered out all over the place. People are always, you know what I'm saying, like doing work. And I don't know. In Detroit, it's a little different. Like if I was still at home, I wouldn't be on the app because I know where the niggas at. I know where to go out. I know where to go out and find the black men.
Yes, that's what I
find the ones that I'm actually interested in. And now with this whole COVID thing, it's just like
it makes it more difficult. It does.
And I'm not a clubber. Like I don't like being out at the club. And if I am at the club, I don't want a man that's in the club for real. If we're gonna be completely honest, because you're probably there all the time. And I don't want somebody that's always at the club. You know what I mean? Like church here. Church is here kind of weird. Everything in California is different.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's different. So being on the app and actually meeting normal people, a lot of times people that are on these apps are not even from California.
That's true. Did you see that TikTok? Somebody sent me a TikTok of a girl who changed her location to London so that she can get dudes from London.
She is a sugar baby.
Well, sugar baby or not, all that told me was I need to pack my bags and move to London because the quality of men that were on, oh my God, the quality of men that was on there.
See,
I said, I'm about to find it. I'm literally finna pull it up and play it for y'all because this, I mean, I'm not joking.
Oh, wow.
I was like, TJ, did you send it to me? Because I kid you not. She in the chat. I'm about to look for it right now.
That's funny.
Where did she? Okay, here we go. Oh man. Okay.
I want some sushi.
All right, let me pause it. Okay, and share. That was real quick. It was meant to be for me to show y'all because.
Right.
Okay, let me turn the volume up.
Philly to London, and here's what I found.
I'm changing my location right now.
Period. Period.
I changed my Hinge.
Like,
Okay.
it's a wrap.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me see what they
Look,
got.
she really doing it.
But then that also goes into like what was said earlier. Are you dating just to date, or are you like dating with intentions? Because who really want a long distance relationship like that?
Long distance. We said we was gonna pack up our stuff
Right,
and
they
move.
about to move.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, Mariana,
Y'all really gonna
Like,
move?
ain't nothing for me.
Girl, no, I'm not
Mariana.
I'm not even.
No, Mariana, you know me. You know me. I will
My
straight.
next move is gonna be to Houston.
I
not to London.
just had the conversation today with my coworker, and I was just like, "Yo, let homeboy be like, hey, will you?" And I'm resigning right now. Hi, thank you. They don't even have to finish the sentence. Not will you marry me? Will you come visit? Will
Right,
you? All you have to
whatever.
say is will you? And it's like, say less, sir. I'm on my way. Like I'm sending in my resignation.
See, I feel
letter.
like that is still like that catfish in the back of my mind. I feel like I'll pack up and be on a plane.
And this
then
is
I'll
what you
get
got to
there.
know about me, Kame, right here. Lauren gonna get up and go, and that's what y'all got to know. Period. Sorry, go ahead. What you think?
I was about to say something, but I'm not even gonna say it because then I'll be putting your business in the streets. But listen,
I'm not joking. See, he said, so y'all just gonna leave us Black American kings. I'm really gonna need y'all Black American kings to get it together.
get
okay?
it together.
Y'all look,
We got it together.
I am just like
I'm looking for my Black American king. So when he comes, you know the king where the kings are. What was his name? See if you know where the kings of California are.
I'm like Trey Songz. Like, I don't want to leave, but I gotta go right now. Okay, like I'm out here. Like I don't want to, but I got to because y'all doing me wrong.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't pack up and get on a plane for somebody I met on the app. Now, if I knew you already, and then you kind of like leaving the country and we're dating. Listen, I want to live abroad, and I've said that so many times. So I may pack up and go with you, but I'm not going over there for nobody. For me to get there, and it's a catfish, and then I didn't. Oh my God!
I mean, obviously you won't do it like the first day. Like, okay, I have a success story. It's not my story. It's somebody that's real close to me. She met some dude on Facebook. They talked for a few months.
Dating.
I heard that too, but I don't know if she met him on a dating thing. But I ain't asked no questions. But that's how I know they met. They talked for a long time, and she went overseas to visit him. And baby girl got married and came back. I said energy for me. He was like, "Listen, my Black American queen, you are the one," and I wifed it. Like that's what I said.
Wait,
energy.
They came back to America? Like she went to a different country and then came back to America?
Her first time like seeing him in person, she got married to him.
Oh.
And yeah, she's back here. He's still there. But they're married now.
No, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't even date somebody that lives out of state, let alone out of the country. We talked about this too. I don't do long distance. It's not for me. It does not work out for me. I'm sorry.
Me either.
Not a question. It's not a thing.
So I guess
never happened.
I tried it once. That was just a few states. Like,
see,
I need my time. I need my time.
Quality time and physical touch are my things. I cannot have you somewhere so far that I can't just see you whenever I want to see you, or you see me whenever you want to see. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me.
But I also think I was gonna say,
somebody gonna
wait. I don't see myself being in like a long distance where I'm always gonna be here and you always gonna be there, right? And so I think if anybody is going to consider any type of long distance relationship, you do need some flexibility, whether that's with your job, like you have like unlimited PTO, whatever. And I heard some jobs that got PTO that's like out of this world, and I'm like, really making me think like, should I leave my industry and go there? Because like y'all just don't care if they at work or not. But you do need some flexibility. And that's why I think I'm always intrigued with the shows of like 90 Day Fiance. Like and it's less about, I need to learn how they do it, but I'm curious on how they do it.
Papers.
Well, they do just want some papers. Yes, they do. But that wasn't really a good example, but it's just this idea. This idea of finding love like that's not in your backyard. Like you don't, they're not.
Well, I want it in my backyard, in the front yard, or on the porch. It just need to be
right.
in my house.
Close.
Shout out to Sir Hell Speaks. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is a great moment to pause, y'all. Shout out to Mariah. She's no stranger to the channel.
Who was King Paul talking about? I don't know what I want. I do know. I'm very sure.
Lauren, shout out to Lauren. You can support any of these individuals by following them on Instagram, sending them a Cash App. Kame's Cash App is there. Lauren's Cash App is here. But thank you, y'all.
Cash App the same
over here. That's right. So these are my friends, guys, and welcome if you just got here. This is Lauren, Melissa, and Friends. Kind of like a new thing, right? Because I mean, YouTube, y'all my family. I love y'all, but I do have friends outside of YouTube, and we have conversations, and I just wanted to bring conversations to y'all, and like we can all talk about it together. So I'm hearing no dating app from you, Mariana, no dating app from you, Lauren. Kame, we already have discussed dating apps. Mariah, you said what?
It's been a long time. I tried to dabble in the apps, but it just wasn't giving what I needed it to give. You know, I've never met anybody off of it, but now I'm hearing maybe I only had Tinder. So maybe I was in the wrong space. It's not even that they was trying to like hook up or nothing. It just,
I also think it's the questions that they ask too, right? Like the different questions. Like Hinge, you can kind of see that they're asking targeted questions to kind of get at what you're looking for. Whereas some other apps is just like upload a picture. What do you like? People get to choose you based on your looks. Like that's very superficial, and it's giving, if you want to get noticed, be half naked, and it's giving very suggestive stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like you can kind of tell the vibe that is going, which really leads me into online dating. So we've just talked about dating apps. Online dating, when we say that, we're referring to like the Black People Meets, we're referring to the Match.coms, the eHarmonies, the Christian Mingles. Have any of y'all had experiences with the online datings, like the .coms situations, not just the apps on phones?
I've never done online dating. I've only done the apps.
Mm-hmm. Am I the only person that was out here acting like a 40-year-old joining Match.com?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was young
back to Crush Spot.
Exactly.
Right. Spot. Look, that should have been our original dating app, and it's so funny about.
We were like 15. We ain't even gone off to college yet.
There was this guy I've never met in person that I like. Our first interaction was on Crush Spot, like just befriending this guy, like we're just talking or whatever, and we're friends on Facebook. But like I laughed at myself one day. It was just like, dang, like we became Facebook friends because of Crush Spot, and I never met this guy in my life, and he's now married, got a kid, and it's just really funny how Crush Spot was the quote unquote spot to meet somebody. I mean, we was flirting back and forth when we was younger, but I never met up with the dude because you're right, I was like 15, 16. Like, what was you gonna do on Crush Spot? Wow.
Yeah. No, I never
Um,
used any
I'm
sites
turning these
either. I
cameras
think
off.
I'm more
People are trying to go crazy.
similar to Lauren. I take that approach too. I prefer like having people on social media, especially Facebook. You can see it's more like seeing them in real life.
mhm.
You see how they interact with people, like what their sense of humor is, what the kind of stuff they like to watch and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of like stalking a little bit, but you kind of see what type of people you would get along well with,
Yeah.
as opposed to like other places. They putting out a certain image of themselves because they want to date somebody.
And they're not on social media?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I know a lot of
I don't.
catfishes on social media. No matter what they posting, they're not really living the life that they posting on the internet. So it's kind
You
of
can
the same.
sometimes tell. Well, at least I can. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of the same, right? They posting up all this money, getting money gang and all the everything else, and in reality, they live at home with their
That's a
parents
red
and they
flag.
really get money
You
gang.
flashing money, that's a red flag.
But they got money because they live at home with their parents.
Right? They
That's
are
the
getting
problem.
money. They don't got no bills.
That's what I'm
But
saying. I can't. Facebook is it be too much information, so I would really prefer people to just find me on Instagram. Like I would, if somebody's
Yeah.
like trying to holler at me from Facebook, you can go down a
Honestly,
rabbit trail. Like you can find out what I had to eat 13 years ago because you out here liking statuses from 10 years ago. Like what?
Yeah, see, Facebook, I only post on Facebook for my older family members. If somebody did slide in my DM on Facebook, I wouldn't even know until probably 5 months later. I don't really do Facebook.
Yeah.
yeah.
Same.
But I will go to Facebook once I do know you and I am
I like
following.
Facebook
I
Marketplace.
will.
That's it.
Once I do once I do like follow you on Facebook, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and we're like, I will try to find you on Facebook though. Like, but I won't add you as a friend. But my stalker antennas will go up. I think in order to date in today's society, you do have to have some type of like some level of stalketry.
A little
That's not a
bit, at
word,
least.
but
What's
like
the word you use?
stalketry.
Stalker tree.
You gotta have some level of stalketry. Mariana, what's your take on all of this? Obviously you said hex no to dating apps, so I imagine you'd be like, hell no to dating online too. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Even if somebody kind of like slide in my DMs, like
Mhm.
it still probably is going to be like a no. Like you gotta be like, you gotta be replying to the stories. We gotta have like a rapport going on. Like that's the easier way to like kind of like hit me up via like social media if you're trying to like get on. But like aside from that, you gotta be doing it the old fashioned way with me. In person, shoot your shot.
Here we go. Speaking of in person, Ruth says, what happened to meeting people through your friends or family members? And this is what I want to know. Y'all my friends. Lauren, I'm putting you on blast because you're a guy and you have friends that are men, and you got, people that I think will make great husbands for Kame or Mariah or Mariana or even myself. Why y'all don't be putting y'all friends on y'all female friends?
Because his friends are in Detroit.
No, let him answer. If location wasn't a thing, I wasn't always in California, Kame.
I didn't think you had any issues personally.
No, but this is the thing for me though, because I do have a lot of male friends, and it's no reason why. And this is it's not for anyone specific, or I'm not thinking about anybody specific, but if we all have cross-gender friends, like what I mean, like you have male friends, you have female friends, there's no reason why our friend group should still be single, right? Especially if you say you surround yourself with solid individuals. I ride with them, I ride hard for them, they Gucci, they this, they there, and they're these awesome people. Why are you not matchmaking them with with other good people? Like, you know what I mean?
I try to. If I know that person's dating history is not so good, I'll just try and alley-oop them to one of my single male friends. I'm like, hey, y'all shit, you know what I'm saying? I'll try to invite them to a kickback or something so they can really get to talking and knowing each other. I've done it before. I mean, I can't make them like each other, but
right.
I've done it.
Exactly, Lauren. You can't make them like each other, because I'm a firm, like, when I know my friends are good, I always try to put my friends together. It's just a matter of if whether or not y'all will mesh well once y'all actually get together. You know this, Lauren. I'm
TJ
always trying to make my friends together, good, so that
well,
we can all just hang out together.
TJ said, people don't do it because if it goes wrong, the group
It
hangout can
is.
be
The group
awkward.
hangouts are awkward. That is very true, TJ.
But
If
see,
it
my
goes bad, not
Another
everybody is
thing
weird in the
No.
situation.
is some people, they make a good friend, they might not make a good relationship partner, and then it's gonna come back on you. Like, dang, you set me up with this person. You're like, my bad.
Sorry.
We're going on the assumption that both of them are good people, though.
this is some
Right.
y'all know some of y'all friends are for the streets. Which
Yes. And
okay,
we know which friends are for the streets, and that's why we don't try to put them on anybody.
that's true. That's true.
I know which one of my friends are for the streets, and I'm never gonna put them try to match him or her with somebody that's actually looking for a serious relationship. Never.
Yeah, facts.
Never.
Yeah. Well, if the
I
chat
won't
is
break
going
my
crazy.
friend's heart because I'm trying to be the matchmaker.
Mhm.
But I say this. Who was it? So
Survivor of the fitness story.
you said survival of the what?
The fittest. The story said, if more than one friend likes one of your friends, do girls call dibs or is it survival of the fittest? Survival of the
Finest.
fittest.
Survival
Survival
of
of
the
the
fittest.
finest.
Oh no, that definitely say fine.
Oh.
It's not fitting.
Right.
If
Sorry,
more than
I
one
need LASIK
friend-
surgery.
If more than one friend likes one of your friends, do girls call dibs or is it survival of the finest?
Girls do be calling dibs, but that don't mean it ain't still survival of the finest.
Okay. Because you could call this, but if he want me, then what am I supposed to do?
Right. Like what I don't know, girl code or not.
I told you I liked him. You told me you liked him, but he picked me. So what do we do now?
Oh, Miss Parker said no, I let them have them.
He don't want her. He wants you, Miss Parker. Now what?
Not TJ said I'm not finna put that up there.
We just get ready to go inside.
Yeah, girl, so we all for the streets. We just getting ready to go inside.
This is hilarious. Okay.
I'm looking for my man.
So, all right. So this is a really good question. So who said this? Because I have a scenario to bring, and it's kind of fitting. Let's see. All right. Well, it's not kind of the same because I don't know if anybody else like this person. So speak on the terms of friends, right? So I recently got on one of my friends and was like, dang, you been holding out. You got a really nice looking best friend. That's a guy, and you ain't said nothing. I think he's a great guy. I'm great. Like, why the connection?
We could be great together.
Why the connection hasn't been made? Like, what's going on? So would it be bold if okay, she was not the middle person. She was like, whatever, figure it out. Like, she didn't want no parts. Would you go talk to him, even though they're friends still? Like, you know what I mean? Like, would you shoot your shot? Or would you leave it alone?
I'm shooting my shot on whoever I want to shoot my shot on. As long as none of my friends ever dated these people, if I want you, I'm going to have you. And that's it.
Facts.
As long as she's never dated him or they never had a thing, what's the problem with you doing doing your thing?
Yeah. They say we are funny.
Unless she secretly like him and she just not saying them.
I agree. Is it Stevie? Closed mouth. Yeah, closed
Go
mouth.
for it.
Don't get fed, Mariana.
Yeah.
They don't get fed, Stevie.
Right. You can't make the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm slam dunking every time. So no.
He said, "Why the friend not making a connect?" I don't know. That's what I said. So, but why should we wait on the friend to make the connect? We should just go for it, right? But see, right. I go back and forth though, because maybe the friend didn't make the connect for a reason.
I feel like do
you ask the friend about? Do you ask them about the person?
Or they may not know that you have struggles with dating. They may think that you cool, so they may not say nothing.
All right, here we go with the trolls.
I was about to say, I'm really confused.
Yeah, people be making up like troll accounts and stuff.
Taylor, I know that's not Taylor in the comments, and you supposed to be up here on this panel.
He just messaged us.
That's what I just saw.
Anywho. He said, "Oh Lord, fake Lauren is back." I know, isn't that crazy? Like, what is the issue? Like, one time I was live and they spelled my last name, like my middle name wrong. Like,
Oh, that's fake Lauren saying that I need new headphones.
mm-hmm.
Oh no.
All right. I know. They back. They coming.
Find something to do, Lauren. Fake Lauren.
Fake Lauren.
Fake Lauren, get a life.
Find some
One that's
business.
your own.
All right. So we've talked about app dating, online dating, your friends hooking, trying to make the connection. I want to talk about this is the segment called Suit Yourself, okay? And suit meaning SUIT, like putting on a suit, or I guess a double meaning, but that's what I'm meaning right now. If you decide to get out into the dating world, what 3 things would you say people or person should have? And y'all, I hope y'all thought about it now. No, y'all didn't.
I mean, for one, I would say I'm just gonna set aside like knowing how to dress and all the other stuff. I mean, you should. So I'm gonna just throw that to the side and go more of an intangible route. But having a willingness to want to date and reciprocate, I think that's kind of lost. Having integrity, I think I talked about that on another show. But just having that integrity of dealing with somebody, like keeping them on the up and up, not to mean that they need to know all your business, but just keeping things above, you know what I'm saying? Keeping it 100 with them. If you know that you're not looking for a certain thing, let them know. And if you are, let them know. Like if things change, let them know. And then just being available too, which I think goes back to your point, Lauren, about people worshiping jobs and things like that. You have to actually be available to date. You have to put your best foot forward and be there. So if you can't actually date, if you put other stuff above that, then you shouldn't. So you need to have that too.
I agree. Who wants to take a stab? I'll go. For me, I mean, it don't have to be 3 things. It should be 1 thing. For me, one thing that you should have that people don't tell you that you don't know until you're actually in dating is like you got to have a quick like bounce back game. Like rejection is a thing. It's going to happen constantly. So you got to have tough skin. Like the dating scene is not for the weak at all, right? If you are overly sensitive or, you know, somebody say you know, your breath stank today or something like that. Like you just got to take it as a grain of salt and be, you know, either you gonna have a comeback or be like, all right, you know, pop a piece of gum in your mouth, whatever. Like you just really, because I mean, it's a doggy dog world out here in general. And then you add the 2022 dating scene, which is extremely ghetto. Like you gotta have that. Also, the ability to have emotional intelligence. That's Miss Parker said that, but then be like a people person. Can you carry a conversation? Like that's something that is truly necessary. This, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. Crickets. If you didn't have any intention on engaging in conversation with me, why did you text me? Right? Like just, you know, save my phone storage, you know? Anybody else?
I want to add on about availability. I feel like you need to have time because it was this one guy who reached out to me. He wanted to talk to me, and then he kind of like disappeared. But then he came back and was like, "Yeah, you know, I want to talk to you, get to know you, blah blah blah." But he's super busy. He is super busy, so I might get a text from him every 3 days, one text. And I'm a person, I'm really big on like quality time. If you want to get to know me, I really want to get to know you. So I like, that's not gonna ever work for me, not having time to actually talk. Because what are we doing here?
What are we doing here, Mariah?
I am fine, but I ain't finna just be waiting around.
I am the same. And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like communication skills are a big thing because a lot of times people don't really know how to communicate. Like, if you're busy, you can say that. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you're busy. Like, you know, communicate what your intentions are. Like, be intentional with dating. Like, either you want this to actually be a thing where you're courting me, you know what I'm saying? Or are we just doing this to have fun? Honesty, like some sense of stability for sure. It's just kind of like a lot of things that come into It's just so much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So it's a
It
full-time
is.
job. King Messiah asked you, Mariah, how often did you text him?
I text him as much as I would text anybody. So, I'd say, good morning, hope you have a great day. But he's seriously super busy. Like, he will wake up at maybe 5, 6 a.m. His entire day is packed with stuff to do. So when he could only text, I know he would talk to me more if he could, but you don't got time to try to date me. You might got like, you can date somebody else, but that's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get that you're busy, but that's not.
It's one thing to be busy. It's another thing for you to be busy, and then you can't even communicate that with me. Like, hey, I'm busy. I have this going on. I'll call you a little later. I'll text you a little later. I'm a little busy. Because if you busy all the time, but you have time to look at my social media, you're not that busy.
Exactly.
He would even tell me that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I ain't get to talk to you. I just had a lot going on today. He don't even have social media because that's how busy.
He's
super
busy.
busy.
Hey, wait, okay, hold on. Now I gotta ask Mariah: do he got like a nice job, like a little, nice job that make a lot of money?
He has a job and he's a entrepreneur, so he got his own business too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's give or take.
I'm trying to hold on. He's so fine too. But no,
he's so fine.
I just feel like people make time for what they want to make time for.
This
it's never really I'm too busy.
This hey, I was just thinking about you. Text goes
exactly,
a long way.
TJ goes a very long way,
and that take a couple seconds.
That's true.
You can even voice it. You could just be like this. Hey, I was in sin. Like you can tell Siri to send it for you. Like what? You ain't even got to use your fingertips. Chat, do y'all? I'm gonna wrap it up with them. But like, do y'all want me to drop the link so y'all can call in? Because I love the dialogue that's happening in the chat. So I'm not gonna like close the live or anything.
TJ like that. On here. I want to talk to her.
So final question, and then I know Mariah, you gotta go, and if anybody else has to jump. Final question: why? And you can answer it in one sentence or less, or 2 sentences or less. That's dumb. Like if it's 1 sentence or less, it's no sentences. Anyway, 2 sentences or less. Why is dating so hard?
People don't know what they want.
Yes, so powerful. I love that. Lauren, why is dating so hard?
I believe that people are scared to do certain things. They're not competitive. They don't want to do the necessary things they think that everyone's supposed to do for them, and they want to get everything in return for nothing. So I feel like that part, and then they think there's an abundance of options out here when really the dating pool, like I think Kevin Samuel said, is really shallow. It's not that many great options, not that many great people as like you think. So just writing people off and saying, no, I don't want to mess with this person, that person for every little thing. It's like, okay, how many great people do you think are there? So, yeah.
Mariana, why is dating so hard?
I think it's a bunch of things. I think it's everything like they just said, but also I think that the whole thing of like the person who cares the least has the most power definitely comes into play. I think that like I think people also don't know what they want plus that. And then on top of that, I think people are so focused on like what others think as far as their dating life than what they actually want themselves that it doesn't work out. So when you put all that into the pot, it gets bad. It gets real ugly out here.
Okay. Kame, why is dating so hard?
It's kind of like a mixture of everything. Everybody said like people don't know what they want. People are scared of being vulnerable. People are very entitled, and the entitlement gets me every time. People don't know how to communicate properly. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on before you actually are getting into these situations. People are traumatized from, traumatized from things that have happened in their past. So they're taking it on to these new relationships, and it's just causing this wedge in between you and the person that you're trying to date because you can't get this last person out of the back of your head. It's just a lot that goes into it. And the dating pool, I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's ghetto in there.
They give us some good examples in the chat.
It's ghetto. Lauren, do you want me to fly you? Do you want to fly out here? We can go on a date.
I need to come.
Bro,
I need
easy.
to come to LA anyway.
Yeah, come on.
Come
Anyway.
on.
Bring it on down.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
All right. My response is, why is dating so hard? I'm gonna take it to everybody's like talking about what other people do or whatever. For me,
not other people, us as well.
Yes, true. We don't want to face ourselves. In order to date, you have to know who you are. And I think this is a generation who doesn't know who they are because they're so influenced by what goes on, which plays into what Mariana just said was we're taking other people's views and ideas of what dating should be versus what we want. And so because we don't know ourselves, we don't know what we want, but we also don't know like what we don't value ourselves. We don't know what we deserve. We just accept anything. So I think in order to date for real, you kind of have to do the self-work to engage in a very constructive way. I feel like, because right now everything that we're doing is destructive. We are like destroying people in relationships just in terms emotionally. Like we don't care how we leave a relationship. Ghosting is damages people. Like how we talk to people is damaging. So I just think that all of it roots back to like our inner self and like really seeing who we are. I didn't mean to get deep or whatever, but that's just like my thought and opinion. So with that,
people have no patience. That's true too.
Yeah,
we will get out of there just because it's kind of like, okay, this is crazy. I'm not doing this.
Right.
I don't have patience to do this. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I see you
moving too slow. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if y'all want to come up and talk. But if you have to, Mariah, Lauren, Mariana, Kame, if y'all got to jump, that's cool. I'm gonna kick it on the YouTube for a minute and talk to the people if they want to call in. And we can just talk about dating, share dating stories, and just what we're experiencing in this dating world or whatever. So, any final words if you got to jump? Anybody?
I'm gonna wait a couple. I got a couple minutes still.
Okay, cool. All right,
I'm
so
off today.
I dropped the link in the chat, so if you want to call in, feel free. Era Black says, "Have a great night, ladies and gents. Thank you, Lauren, for having me and tolerating me as much. You were awesome in the chat. Thank you so much, Era Black.
You were awesome in the chat. You had so much to say.
Y'all do know when y'all watch people lives, the lives are only as good as the people that are watching. So if y'all just watching and lurking and y'all not commenting, then it's boring. But then you got a live chat, you get a live show. It was actually really fun. What else are people saying? If you do call in, you got to cam up. FYI.
So put y'all wigs on. You know who I'm talking to.
You know who I'm talking about. Oh, Miss Parker, you said, Lauren, you just said the man was wasting your time by just saying hello. Maybe he was thinking about you too. You could say, hey, our favorite guy. Or you said, Lauren, Taylor, mutual, you say, hey, our favorite guy. Taylor, Taylor, mutual YouTube in the back. It's okay.
Hey, what up, though, y'all? How y'all doing?
Taylor, mute your YouTube in the back. Who else got it on in the back? Is it off now? Is it off?
He said, I saw his lips move.
Okay, there we go.
We back. My bad.
You said you good.
I do that every time.
I was gonna say, first off, you're not even a straight. Like, this is not your first time up here.
It's not. And every single time I do that, I leave it on in the background.
Oh my God. Say, Laura, we need a male perspective. I mean, we have Lauren here. We have Lauren here.
You had to figure the point. The point is, yeah.
You know, so share some of your dating tips, experiences, things that you've learned from being like. Did you say last time? Were you single? Are you single? Okay. And so, what has been your experience in this dating pool?
So I would say throughout the pandemic, I had like situationship or two. And
we didn't even talk about situationships. Oh my God.
You know.
Okay, go ahead. We're gonna have to get into that once you finish because that's a whole nother.
It is. That's a jungle, and it's confusing, and it's
hell.
Oh, it is. It really is. But Yeah, it was mostly, I think, the fact that ended up in situationships was mostly my fault. A whole lot of indecisiveness, a whole lot of anxiety around making decisions.
Mhm.
And over like the last year, I've had the opportunity to kind of move away from some of that anxiety. And so, like you were kind of speaking to earlier, knowing what you want makes it so much easier, I think, to date. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of us are in this like kind of in between space where we think we kind of know what we want, or we feel like it might be right, or it sounds like something it could be cool, but nowhere in that are we like at a place where we're willing to like commit or take that leap for whatever that thing is.
Mhm.
It's like sounds like a good idea, but I still would rather be more comfortable in this kind of space of not having to take a chance, you know.
Mhm.
And so I think now, having figured out a clearer picture of what I want in a relationship, what I want in a partner, I think it makes it easier for me to, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but like not waste time on situations that are not for me, and to move quicker to be like, I'm sorry, this isn't working out for me. I mean, still appreciate you as a person, but it's just not the situation for me. And I think not being able to do that has been my biggest flaw in dating.
Mm.
Not being man enough to straight up say like, oh, I'm not feeling this anymore, or I don't like you as much as I thought I did, or this is kind of run its course. So I think my inability to be straight up and say that in the past has caused a lot of hurt and unnecessary issues. So I think my biggest tip would be, if you're in a situation and you got that inkling that it's not right, and if you're really sitting there trying to talk yourself out of ending it, it's time to end it.
Mm-hmm. I could have used that advice about a year and a half ago, actually.
Oh yes, no sense dragging it out.
Okay.
And I think my problem with that is you stay in it too long, and flight is my instant reaction. Like, it's not fight, it's always flight. It's always, let me get up out of here. And I always have people that are like, just be patient, see if this is something like you always want to just ghost. You always just want to jump out of it. Now I'm in a situation where it's like I wanted to have flight was my instant reaction, and now I'm in it, and it's like, dang, I like you, but now I'm torn between, do I just stick it out or do I just disappear?
Yeah.
And I think we have to all learn the difference between it. I think, I'm almost positive we kind of mentioned this in our last one, but the non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
think
just
it's
about
just
to
a
say
matter
that
of being
again.
able to learn yourself enough to distinguish what is something that you can work through and what's a non-negotiable. Don't try to talk yourself out of non-negotiables. If it's just a person who does this thing or has this characteristic that you
I
know
only
you don't
have
like,
one issue. I have one issue, and that's the only reason everybody's like, "Hey, man, it's not that bad. It's just one issue. You only have them."
but it's that bad to you.
But if
one.
it's your deal breaker,
It's that
your
one.
deal breaker.
It's one. The communication is, and I am a communicator.
Mhm.
I communicate. So when you can't communicate, and then it's kind of like, are you being selfish because everybody doesn't communicate the same?
Right.
Mhm.
So then even at that point, it's like you may have the space to be like, you know what? I can't just hard cross this person out because they're not the type of communicator I want them to be today. But I can cross them out if I don't see growth in the next month.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
you're
It's the
the same
growth.
communicator today and the same communicator a month from now.
We talked
Oh
about
yeah,
this,
I don't got
Kimmy.
time to be waiting
But
on that.
he's not the same communicator now that he was before. He's put forth the effort, but it's still not enough for me.
Oh well, answer. It sounds like you got the answer.
But that's not the answer she wants. And that's the problem. I was just finna say, my problem is seeing the signs, knowing the signs, but then being like, but I know there's something there, and I'll be wanting to hang on. Like, I'm not even joking. That is a real thing, and I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, y'all need to move on. It's not as easy as one would seem. Like, make it seem. I feel you, Kame. It's a pull, girl.
It's tough, but I think it's one of them things where it's like the whole ripping the Band-Aid off. Like you gonna end up in pain one way or the other. You might as well just get it over with. Just
the longer you stay with it, I think
Sooner
the
the
worse
better.
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt in the end. Be like, dang, but I just spent 6 months with
Well,
you.
you know how I'm feeling now, so
because that's one of the biggest things we say, like when we don't want to get out of a relationship and we convincing ourselves to put in more effort, it's because of all the time I done put. Think about all the months and the time and the energy. I'll stick it out for 3 more months, which makes it even harder 3 more months from now to end it, because you just got 3 more months that you committed to it. So I just think like, and nobody can tell you whether it's, you know, whether something is too much for you or not enough, Campaign. So when it was like, it's just that one thing. If that one thing is driving you crazy, then it's enough.
Right.
Insane in the membrane, Taylor.
All it takes.
All right. So here's my question, because you mentioned situationships. Where did when did situationships come about? Like, I don't know. It was like it just kind of popped on the scene, and I was like, oh, that is how you describe the fuckery that's happening right now.
I would like to meet the person who just came up with that term, who was just like,
right,
situationship.
Yes, that sounds like it's a thing.
Like, we might not have a relationship, but we sure got a situation going
it's something.
on.
It's something.
Just marry those two ideas.
Dang. So, all right. For the people who are not ready to date, okay, ready to date, not date, is situationship something people should explore? I already know the answer. I'm asking it for a conversation piece.
Me personally, see, I think I am no longer in a place where I'm ready to date or a situationship. I'm in that like, oh no, I need some me time for real. For the most part, I'm trying to focus on me. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to achieve certain things that I want for myself. You know, when you kind of look at your goal list or the one that you kind of wrote down years ago, and you like, I'm not where I wanted to be.
Hold on, pause for the cause. That term is old, 90s old. I never.
Are we young? I mean, are we?
Well, we was in the sandbox in the 90s, so maybe
exactly. I'm like, we were
maybe it's one of them things that died and came back, like bell bottoms.
Well, wait, hold on though. But hold on though. But if situations were a thing, they weren't like, okay, I was schooled by music was how I got my like connection to the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the difference between today's music and music back then is they actually wrote about what they were going through. You actually heard men begging to get back with their chick. You actually heard men talk about how they're going to court their woman, right? They were actually writing these things in songs. Situationships came about, I think, through a song. Who has a song? Doesn't Fabulous have a song about situationships? Like, there's actual songs that I have never heard situationships, the word situationships. And I mean, I was around older people.
Like,
and
they didn't even never sing about no situationship.
I know.
I don't think that situationships should be held to a negative stigma. I don't think they're always a bad thing.
Say more. Oh, you got to say more. But after I read this real quick, Therese said situationships been around. We used to say they messing, which meant not committed but doing some relationship things. And I'm 40. I did not. Oh, she said the word is new. The definition is not. Got it.
Okay, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
okay, that makes more sense. Yes. Hello. Oh, look, hey, Cameron, you got to come back to the camera.
I'm coming back. I had to go take a break.
Okay. I didn't know your audio was TJ.
I'm back.
I told you to come back, so TJ, you can see TJ.
Hey, TJ. I like your hair,
girl. Hey, friends. I know.
Hey, if I want to, what do they say on Clubhouse? Let me reset the room. Hey, y'all, if you just got here, this is Lauren, Melissa, and friends, where we have just conversations. Y'all get to be in on be flies on the wall in the conversations. The link is in the chat if you want to, join the friend group. But you gotta have your camera on, be respectful. But what's up, TJ?
Friend, nothing. I've been laughing at y'all for the past however long y'all been on here, cracking me up.
Okay. Yeah, it's been funny. What are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Mariah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say this reminds me of something I saw someone share. I won't go into too much detail, but okay, maybe I will. He posted it. It said, it said, forget rushing a relationship. Let's just be cool or something like till we ready.
Friends.
So I feel like that's that. Like a situationship type of thing, right?
That sound like it.
Sound like that.
When they say, but yeah. Okay, so boom. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Because I'm in a situation where I feel like it's a situationship, but I'm okay with it.
So this was a
like,
person that I was involved with. So I felt some type of way about him.
Oh dang! So he was on. Well, never mind.
like, wait a minute.
That let me
When
know,
I
like,
say,
okay, let me
so what that meant is
skedaddle.
that did y'all define it? So let me clarify my statement for people start
Okay.
exploring. When I'm saying I'm okay with it, meaning I'm okay with just being just friends until we're both ready for something, which that's what I mean. So Mariah, when y'all started the having conversations back and forth, did y'all say like, you know, this is what we're doing, or y'all kind of just
So
was like, hey, you cool?
the crazy part about it is when we first started talking, which was it was like 2 years ago. No, dang, bro. The pandemic is crazy. It was almost 4 years ago.
Dang. What's
So,
your man?
yeah. So
Can't make it. That's your man.
He was. We had a whole relationship. He asked me to be in a relationship with him. Like I was the one, like, oh, I don't really know, you know. He like, well, let me know when you're ready because I'm not trying to be in between or whatever. So we had our little relationship. Maybe that's where he learned that he don't want to rush a relationship.
Wait, did you actually come back and let him know though?
Let him know what?
You said let him know if you want to be in a relationship.
So and then we had our relationship. It probably was like 6 months. Then we kind of went off, you know, back on again, off again type of thing. But he just had posted that recently. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna leave.
Did you leave the little eye emoji in the comments? Like,
no, I just was like, noted.
I would have just been like this, put that little emoji in there. Like,
I usually don't be all on the pages of people I'm talking to.
Oh,
you know,
I mean,
the
that's
comments
true.
and likes and stuff.
You smart.
I don't want nobody going to my page like, who is this?
Because that's the thing.
Because I had somebody come in my DM like that.
I want to call you out, K-May, but I was going to be like, that's the thing. Once you be on the comments, you look so beautiful. No, this is if a dude comment on yours, you look so beautiful, babe. That's the first comment they go to. If somebody's like interested in you, they go to that last comment, whoever giving you all the hard eyes. That's for me. I love that. Like, simmer down.
Yeah.
Simmer down, grasshopper.
Simmer down.
Let it on down.
Lauren, you've been quiet. I want to know what dating experiences have you? I mean, we trying to figure this thing out. I mean, obviously this is not the show to have a solution. We just airing it all out so people can figure it out for themselves and really see the lay of the land of this dating world in 2022 as we know it. So what have you been experiencing? Like what experiences? Tell us some stories.
Experiences.
Are you single? Did you? I ask this
yeah.
all the time. I should write this down. Like single, not single.
Everybody is
I'm single. Experiences. I mean, it's been a couple of situationships for sure. So it just got to the point where it's like, okay, it's like a balance between Kame and Taylor, where it's like, to me, you just got to have a cap on certain things, like a certain time limit. Like if this is not
where you want it to be
going to the next
level
time, at a certain moment, you just got to cut it off, whether you hurt or not, whether it hurts you or not, you just got to do it. But you can't be flighty either and just, rush it. But at the same time, it's like, all right, because you can, like you said, get too patient and stay in too long. And before you know it, a year to pass. And it's cool because you having a good time with this person. So I'd have had it where nothing like was bad with her. It was just, it wasn't going to the relationship part. So it was like, all right, I need to cut this off. So that's kind of been a prevailing theme until recently where I said, okay, F it. I'm just going to put a time limit on everything and, hold my ground with that. So, because I'm a very patient person. It's hard when you're a patient person. That can kind of backfire on you. You can be patient to a fault. So
it is true. That's very true.
I'm impatient. I want to go from single to engaged like now.
Skip engaged. I just want to be.
Why are we wasting time?
I want to be single married. Like I don't even. Let's just get married.
What is that?
I want somebody to be like, hey, hey, Lauren, this is the date and time. Meet me here in your white dress.
Dating is stupid to me. Like it's stupid. It's just a dumb concept. I'm sorry.
Me or not?
It is.
I would friend zone a chick super fast. You know what? I get friend zoned a lot. How often do y'all get friend zoned?
And see, that's the thing. I'm never really been friend zone. My friends are always like, let's take it out of the friend zone. Let's do something else. And it's just like, okay, let's try it. And then it don't work out. And then it be like, okay, we back where we started at, but we don't burn no bridges. I don't know. I told you I just started this not dating my friend thing. Like everybody I've dated in the past has started as my friend. I just
y'all still friends, right?
That's how it should be, though.
But
and
see,
I'm
that's
still
different.
friends with everybody that I've dated in the past. Like I'm still friends with them.
Except maybe one.
I just started burning them bridges. Niggas ain't shit.
Burn them down. We rise at dawn.
Burn them all. Mad King vibes.
Why, Mariah? Why you had that reaction when I told you I'd be getting friend zoned?
Because it was so unexpected.
Oh, because it's true, man.
Oh my
But what do
God.
you define as friend zone, though?
Yeah, what's the friend zone, Lauren? I don't believe it.
I just like
Because to me, if you've been friends before and you date and then it don't work out, then that's not a friend zone to me. You just went back to being friends. But
No, that's not what I'm talking
started
about.
off. Yeah, that's all I was saying.
Started as friend. Started as a friend. We both said like there's some attraction, but then he never made a move. And it's just been like do friend stuff. Like, hey, ride with me to the store. I'll drop you back off. You want to go?
Friend zone, though.
You ain't get friend zoned.
That is a friend zone.
No, that's not.
Friend
Friend
zoning somebody is you expressing how you like him or you expressing your feelings for him, and he's like, oh no, I don't even look at you like that. Like,
Sometimes they don't even have to say it. Their actions tell you.
You like a sister to me? Friend zone. Friend zone.
They don't even have to say the words.
No, you be like, oh, let me take you out. And they like, as a friend.
Right, like,
okay, I pay for mine, you pay for yours.
Right, cool, bro. Okay, you keep blowing me. Okay, I'm getting what's happening here. I'm catching what you're throwing. You keep saying, bro. Hey, yeah, friend. What's up, sis? It's giving.
That has happened to me before.
But if you've been friends before, how is that a friend? So you were already a friend.
It shouldn't be an issue, but you've already opened the door to, So
did they open the door to romance?
They opened the door to romance, and then yes, and then they closed it.
No.
And they
so you had
it happened
romance,
to me twice.
You had a little romance.
Yes.
And then they hit
me with the sis.
And then they was like, okay, no, me and Lauren.
But you were sis before that?
No, I was not sis before that. No.
What y'all went on a date?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
we need more information.
But
we do.
I don't need to prove
details. What's the reason you got friend zone or dumped?
Like we just don't know.
Oh my God, I do not need to prove that I'm
right now. I'm not hearing the friend zone. I'm hearing the like. It sounded like he mentioned, or y'all both mentioned, like, "Oh, you're kind of cute," and then nobody did anything afterwards. Y'all both scary.
Exactly.
But that's not a friend zone. Y'all just
y'all didn't leave the friend zone. Y'all started there. Y'all stayed there.
Yeah, y'all just scared to move
around on the edge and never left the friend zone.
So y'all just need a push. No. Both y'all just need a good.
I've been on a date with this person a couple times. It's not a date.
A date where y'all hanging out as friends.
I go on a date with friends.
And the fact that you don't know definitively,
exactly.
One would call it a date. One would be like, we were just hanging out. Well, this is what I've been saying. And it's
Did you try to kiss him in the mouth?
So you
one. Okay, it's different instances that I'm thinking about. In one instance, yes, there was a kiss in the mouth. There, and I'm still friends.
Okay, so y'all kissed in the mouth.
Y'all were still friends. Y'all just kissed one time.
Yeah, I'm
over y'all. My friends in the mouth.
I'm over y'all.
I'm not getting the timeline is not adding up, so I'm confused.
No. Y'all don't gotta be confused. I just know.
Somebody said you were not.
Okay, here we go. I'm about to read it, girl. I'm about to put it up here so we can all read it. Okay, Black Maid Media says you were not friend zone, you were stalled out. No one made the move, so nothing happens. When a man does this, it means he has more options than he can handle. He tried to have you on the bench. I hear what y'all are saying.
That's
That is
not
a
true.
very valid explanation. However, that is not what happened in my situation.
Well, you ain't
So-
giving enough information.
I cannot
Okay.
say things that will incriminate me.
Hit us in the
Lauren.
DM because we want to know.
Right.
Did
We'll have the after show.
Right. We're gonna have our own
you
personal
or did
show.
you not?
Did I do it? Did I or did I not? What, Lauren?
Were y'all not platonic friends before this?
No, we were not platonic friends before it.
Okay.
We
That's
met
all that
under
okay.
the guise that there
That
was
y'all
going to
was
be
dating and all
something.
that. There's gonna be something. Okay. Well, yeah, that's the friend zone then. Yeah.
I've been friend zoned.
Yeah. I thought you
Somebody
were
said
saying you was
Nazi
friends
pledge
with
in
the
the
person.
fifth. Y'all not finna get me out here talking about y'all is not finna play what is it called? The matching game. They be like, okay, this story goes with this day on this timeline with this
Definitely
space.
getting investigated.
Because, you know, I'm not doing that with y'all.
We weren't happy if he just told us the whole story.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We need some more details.
Put it all on the table.
That's all.
Heck no. But thank you for the explanation, Black Maid Media.
I don't know if I can necessarily agree with the conclusion that he made. Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, not at all.
Right.
I don't know if it's a definitive,
ending is
it
bad.
definitely means this. That is one of the possibilities, but I also think a lot of times people just be like, oh, well, I said I liked her and I thought that something went. It's like the same thing that you doing. Like, well, I said I liked her and I just kind of thought it would turn into a relationship like magic.
Like magic, because I'm
Because we around each other and
yeah.
Maybe he saw one of his deal breakers in you.
I am hungry.
Wait, what'd you say, Mariah? Kimmy, I gotta hear the people.
Oh, sorry.
I said maybe he saw one of his deal breakers in you.
Oh, that could be. I'm
But
not
he still
everybody's
like
cup
you
of
as a
tea.
person.
Right. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. You know.
Did you actually like them?
Keep it moving.
I'm talking about two different people, but I know who you're referring to. At one point, yes, but that was a while ago. Years ago. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I said you. I think we're talking about the same thing, but I'm referring to somebody else.
I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even pinpointing it.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask though.
But we've already had this
We can have it again.
Shout the ghetto.
Very good. Can I ask the guys a question?
What's up?
I've been told, so guys don't talk to me when I'm out.
okay.
And I've been told that one, it's either guys don't talk to girls that are pretty or guys don't talk to girls when they're in groups. Is this true?
Do you smile?
Not necessarily. I don't think that's the case.
No.
Friendliest.
I don't think
Lauren.
I'm laughing because when she said, "Do you smile?" You was like,
But no, I want to add to that, TJ. And is it a such thing as like men feeling like women are intimidating? Because I've had a lot of men tell me like, "You look really intimidating," but now that I've talked to you, it's a little different.
Same.
all right. So Lauren and
I
Taylor,
wasn't even doing
I want them
anything.
to
How does
answer
that
the
work?
question. I want them to answer from the male.
Taylor can go first.
I thought you was ready. I thought you was loaded up.
Oh, I'm ready.
No, I thought
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna let you go.
For me, I mean, I don't get intimidated. So you're never intimidated to a man that really wants you. So I mean, if a guy's a coward, then so be it.
And
but,
say that. Just
but
say
as,
that.
as far as the
If
group
you're scared,
thing,
just say that.
Just say that.
it depends on where you at. Like if the group thing wouldn't deter me, but then again, it would because it's like, okay, when are you alone? Like even at the club or something. Like, are you gonna go get a drink by yourself?
Are you gonna ever go to the
Hell.
bathroom?
You know what I mean? Because you don't want to butt in. Because sometimes, chicks are trying to throw salt in your game, and they'll try to, because they mad because you didn't talk to them. So from that standpoint, yeah. From the pretty standpoint, they just a coward because that's not gonna stop a guy that wants you.
Tiffany, do you be walking around with a fist or not?
I don't know why I'm
With the Arthur fist.
Yes, exactly. That's why.
With the fist.
In the club, just
Right.
Strong arming niggas like.
Or Or Tiffany, do you not really ever have much expression on your face? It's kind of just like a blank
Is
stare.
it a resting? Is it an RBF, a resting bitch face?
Because I think that's what I have. And then once people talk to me
do.
and I just start joking and cracking up and laughing all over the place, then it's like, oh, you different than what I thought you were. Well, what did you
A
think
lot of
I
women
was?
have that problem. I've noticed. That's why I asked if you smile, because men come and talk to me all the time. But I smile a lot. Like, I'm always laughing. And the way I talk to people, sometimes they might feel like I'm flirting with them, but that's just the way I talk. So, when they feel like you friendly and approachable, they're more likely to approach you. But sometimes we don't even realize what our faces look like.
Facts.
When we're out.
Got it.
And when I'm not talking, I look like a murderer.
Same.
He makes a good point, guys. He said, in terms of your question about being in groups, Tiffany, some men feel like they got to buy drinks for the whole squad just to get to you. Not every man's pockets run that deep. And that's okay, too. I think that's a real thing. Yeah.
I also think.
Sorry.
Go off.
I got my fist balled up under here.
He could sense it. He was like, "Ooh,
I smiled since she been on here.
She still got that fist, mate."
That's funny.
No, I think the being in the groups thing is partially true. I think whenever you have a large group of people, you have the higher possibility of like the unknown happening. Because I could walk up to you or the person I'm interested in and be having a good conversation. And let's just say one of your girls is just not in the mood. That's just like another opportunity for me to fail. Like rarely, if I'm looking at a group of women, rarely am I seeing one of her friends as a person who's going to help me in this situation. Typically, I'm just saying like, more than likely, she gonna make this harder for me than anything. No matter how I approach, if I'm kind, whatever, just odds are they gonna make this harder for me. So I think just the idea of it being a group in your head, it's like if I'm already just kind of checking my odds mentally, that just dropped it down a few. Because her friend right there looked mean. She not having a good time tonight. She ready to go already. Like
on her.
That's a good point. I mean, because
sure. I know very few men who have not experienced talking to a girl, thinking something going great, thinking y'all vibing, and then her friend pull her away out of nowhere. And you just be like, what?
What happened?
What happened?
She sent that text like now.
No, because when girls get lit.
Hold on, what you say, Mariana? Wait, hold on, what you say, Mariana?
When girls get because like when girls get lit, like you get a little blind, you start like being a little too relaxed. Like you talking to a guy, don't even realize he's 4 feet. Like, it's just different things that happen. You gotta be like, nah, friend, I can't let you.
He's not your sober type.
Some friends be hating on you too, though.
I respect that, but honestly, I don't think I've ever been the ugly dude in the group.
Talk your shit.
Not to be. I don't think I've been the dude that I never been a dude a girl had to run from. That's never been.
Period.
But you could be like the guy that's not her type.
I mean, that's perfectly fine.
She could have like girls go like places and already have like a pre-game talk like, this is what I'm looking for. I hope I see this kind of guy. Like, and then she see you talking to him, and it's like, oh no,
always
you got it wrong. This is not what you said.
And I feel that. Like, I mean, because I 100 times have been the guy. I've been the fake boyfriend in a heartbeat. Like, so I definitely know the game go both ways.
Dang.
But I think the reason I feel that it wasn't one of those is because how I approach women. Like very rarely is it like I'm coming out at you out the blue. It might have been we danced, started talking and was vibing during the dance, then left each other, then came back and saw each other later in the night. Then so it's like I've never really been the person to like hover like that. So I don't know. I guess I try to approach situations with the knowing in mind that I am the masculine one in the situation, and I do automatically come with this imposed fear, like this imposed threat. And so I always try to make it like, in no way, shape, or form am I keeping you here. In no way, shape, or form are you talking to me.
Well,
like
you got to in these days with the Me Too movement. You can't feel like you're forcing yourself.
Let me not.
Right.
Not forcing, yeah.
Black Black Maid Media says we are not even going to talk about how more than one woman in the group is attractive. We got to make the right decision. We got to take time to process that. It happens.
Facts.
That's real.
Exactly.
Gotta pick the right
My friends are
one.
fine.
All my friends are bad.
Because you mess around and you pick the craziest one, and now you
That's
feel
bad.
bad.
Actually, that
Nobody
might
likes
be
you
like
after
the
you already
reason.
picked their friend.
I'm about to say that might be the reason approaching women while they are in a group. You can figure out right then and there which one is the
Right.
attractive friend.
That's
Look.
hey, there you
And which
go.
one might be
It's not,
feeling
you
you
talk to
back.
the whole group.
Mm-hmm.
This is I don't know if I'm gonna read this statement, but
Facts.
there's maybe some truth to this. These girls are usually single, bent. These girls are usually single, bent on keeping their friends single. They're never satisfied. I had you at the first sentence. This never satisfied thing. I don't know, but I don't think that anybody will openly admit. I don't think anybody will openly admit that I'm single. I want my friends to be single, but I do believe that there are actions and things that both men and women do to and say, like they may do or say to their friends that are not conducive to a situation. Like, okay,
I don't know. I'm a lover. I want my friends to find love. Just
Right.
like I want love for myself, I want my friends to find love for themselves too.
I'm the
So,
same
if
way.
you like him, go ahead and go with it. But if she give me the cue that I need to come over there and break all that up, I'm coming over there and I'm breaking it all up.
Going back to what you were saying earlier,
It's a
Taylor.
cue. It's literally a cue. Like they let us know.
Speaking of breaking up, I'm sorry, I gotta go, y'all. Bye.
Oh, bye, Mariah. That was a really good segue, though.
I was waiting for my
10 years.
Now she breaking up with the group.
Viewers, follow me on Instagram.
Yes, follow Mariah on Instagram, everybody. She's not a stranger to Lauren, Melissa, and friends.
I will
So
miss
we'll see
y'all
her
too.
back one of these days.
Conversation. Talk to y'all next time.
Bye.
Trey Club.
So TJ, what was you were gonna say something?
Taylor, you said something about when you go up to a group of girls, you likely won't have an ally. I am your wingman.
You the ally? You the
You
wingman?
coming up to talking to my homegirls, I'm gonna be there egging her on, egging you on, like go ahead, do it. So that's not necessarily true. Unless you are, if you're awkward, then I'm gonna be the friend that's gonna pull you away too. So it goes both ways. Whatever's in her best interest. So you might have an ally, you don't even know it.
Oh,
Gotta
okay.
shoot your shot. This is one of
Look,
them.
we got a perspective.
I'm
from
your ally
somebody.
too. I told you I love love. I want my girls to find somebody. But if she give me the cue that she need me to take her away,
the cue is the cue.
We got a perspective from somebody who has been in the dating pool, but has just recently got out. He said, "I just got married. Kudos to you. Last weekend. That's real recent. But dating was not hard. It was actually fun, but people expect too much too soon." Okay, Sale. Here's what I need, Sale. I need you to either A, type out what you mean by expect too much, or you can hit that link at the top and cam up and like talk to me a little bit more about that, because I am one of the people who don't believe expecting too much is wrong. You should have standards and you should have, things that you allow and not allow in your space, right? And so depending on you should be firm about that. It's your space. It's who go ahead, Taylor.
I can speak from personal experience in terms of expecting too much. I know I've expected too much in past relationships. I think I had a very codependent dating style and I didn't realize it because that was my only reference point of love. I had married parents, and by the time I started to see their relationship, these are people that had been together 10 plus years. But I hadn't framed it like that in my head. I was just like, well, that's how relationships are supposed to be. So I was going into dating situations trying to replicate the relationship that my parents had at 10, 15, 20 years in the first few months. And so my expectations were way too high. What I was trying to do, what I was trying to establish, like I was trying to pack 10 years of a relationship into 3 months.
Agreed.
Like,
I can see that. That's
definitely a thing, especially when you raised by people that are married. Like when you're raised by married people, it's just kind of like I wasn't raised by a single parent, so I've seen how this courting thing goes. I know how this like marriage thing is supposed to be. This is what I want. This is what I aspire to have. So it's kind of like, are we doing this or are we not? And for some people, you got to take it into consideration. Everybody wasn't raised like that. So this person might have been raised by a single mom, and you were raised by a married couple. It's kind of like you have different perspectives of everything.
And
And
on
they're
top
looking
of
at
that,
you crazy, like, what do you mean? This is a lot so soon. Like, no, it's not. This is what needs to be done if we're going to make this a thing.
Yeah.
And it's only a lot if it's not the right person. Because if it's the right person,
They won't have a problem with it.
I mean, but I just think that it's a very
dangerous.
dangerous thing, because even if it's the right person, there's no replacement for time. It just doesn't exist. So even if we go through some struggles and we feel like we bonded super quick and we've gotten together, that still doesn't replace the amount of time it just takes to learn people's quirks, their mannerisms, how they move, what they like, what they don't like, just the weird way that they twist their nose before they sneeze. Like, there is so much that you subconsciously pick up around just sharing space with somebody that, again, like, especially like Kame was saying, like, I know how this courting thing goes. Like, one thing that I realized I was like flawed at is I thought I did know how this courting thing goes because I was raised by married parents, but I didn't. I saw or knew how married people treated each other. That doesn't mean I know how the courting process goes. Those are two different distinct things that I had gotten like interwoven. And I was like, well, I know how to treat a woman. But that didn't necessarily mean I knew how to court a woman, especially since courting it has to be tailored to what you want out of the situation. And so being a freshman in college trying to court a woman, who am I going to marry in a year or two? Like, that, it didn't make sense. How I was choosing to date wasn't in line with my realistic goals for the time. It was in line with my aspirations. I just didn't realize those aspirations were unrealistic at the time. Because again, I was comparing this, I'm going to be married just like my parents and everything's going to be perfect. And I'm like, bro, you are 19 in college trying to figure yourself out. Like, what?
And that kind of plays into the concept of women doing like wife things for men that are not their husbands. It's kind of like, we don't really know that courting process. We just have seen what a wife does for her husband. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and try to do this. I'm going to cook for him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's kind of like, you're not there yet, boo. You got to make sure that's going to be a thing before you start doing all that.
And I think all of this can be summed up into, we need to learn how to set boundaries. We need to learn how to define boundaries, how to set boundaries, how to stick to them, and how to respect others without taking them personally. Like, I think all of that just kind of comes back to boundaries. Like, most of us haven't had the practice of establishing boundaries. Shoot, we might have shared a room with a sibling for several years, or shared a small space with a family, and just like, well, we was always sharing space. We was always doing this. A lot of us haven't had the opportunity to set efficient boundaries from any and everybody, and to have those respected in a way that we feel empowered to keep establishing those boundaries.
Right. Lauren, you look like you about to say something.
Say it, yeah. I think my expecting too much was expecting that everybody else knew how to date, and they actually don't. So it's like all the baseline regular stuff that you think would actually happen. A lot of people just don't know that, because like Taylor said, they may know the end result because everybody focuses on the marriage part, but they don't know how to actually date. Like, hey, it's okay for you to call this person too. It's okay for you to reciprocate too. You know what I mean? Like, just certain stuff that people just don't know. And it's like, wow. So, but I don't think that's expecting too much, though.
I think that's
I feel like a
hilarious.
lot of people don't know how to date, because in reality, like, we weren't raised by people who actually taught us those type of things. Like, I mean, I was, but I wasn't.
Well, I was on
it's kind of like, I feel like people haven't learned those type of things. It's kind of like we go out into the world and we just figure it out.
I was on the panel the other day, and we talked a little bit about that, and they talked about, like, we don't teach people, like, we don't teach we weren't taught, and we're not teaching our kids to either date or become something. We need to teach them how to be good people. And once you become a good person, then that's how you know how to treat somebody. But again, it goes back to this, like, we don't even know how to, like, be a good person. Like, integrity is a thing. That's a really big, important piece in a relationship, right? So it's the fundamentals that I think we're not being taught that's making it complicated. It's the integrity, it's the honesty, right? It's the, when you know who you are, boundaries is no question. You're going to have boundaries because you know who you are, and you know what you would tolerate and what you don't. We don't know these things. Like, we need to invest in ourselves more in order to be good for other people. We're not good to ourselves. Like,
and I think
that,
yes, that's what Sir Hill did say that. Thank you, because you were on that. Thank you so much. Yes.
I was about to say, I think that went back to the last one that we all had, where we were kind of mentioning raising people to be a husband or wife. And I think that was like specific, like what you just said was specifically the reason I had an issue with that. Is like, I think the whole idea of becoming a good husband or wife could be specifically taught with like certain skills later on. But if our focus is in raising good people, a lot of the other stuff will be small add-ons. And I think that that would make like the most cohesive Black love relationships we could hope to see. We are like truly raising our Black children to be like kind, caring, in like children with integrity, children who are looking to strive and be the best people that they can be, like, and then teaching them like that kindness of how to treat another person that you're in a relationship with. A lot of that will be like obvious. They're like, well, if I'm kind to my friend, why wouldn't I treat the love of my life kind? Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
You would think that, but
common sense ain't common.
Exactly. I mean, I know a lot of good people that are good people. They just do not know how to date. Like, for some reason, the intangibles that you see and everything else that they do not translate over to the dating world. So I agree that we need to,
Lauren?
Huh?
What makes them not good at dating? Is it the interpersonal skills?
Yeah, but it's just like a lot of intangibles. Like, I agree with you guys and Taylor and all that as far as like raising up good people. But I think that people need to know that if you, again, are good to your friends, you do good things to your friends because they do good things for you. You're there for your friends. You're hardworking. You're dedicated to your job or to your career, to whatever. That needs to translate over to the dating world too.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's not?
Because that entitlement. So when they get to the dating world, I'm gonna leave all the stuff behind and be entitled and just sit back and let everything happen versus actually putting the two and two together. Like, hey, the things I learned over here need to happen over here too. And they're good people. They're not horrible people at all. They just,
I think
when it
I
comes to
gotta
dating,
take
they
back
lose
what I
it.
meant by saying like we gotta raise and be good people. I think it's not necessarily saying a good or bad thing. I think it's like emotionally mature people. I think if we spent our energy in raising emotionally mature people, a lot of that other stuff would kind of fill together. Because, like you said, you could be a good person and not be emotionally mature yet. Like, that don't make you a bad person. But I think it's more so about being emotionally mature, knowing yourself, having that reflective process to know what you are interested in, what you like, what you don't like, having enough lived experience to know that no relationship just comes to you, just happens. You have to put work in every single relationship, whether it's a parent-child relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship.
Here's a question from Black Made Media. Is there a such thing as too good of a man or woman, like him or her being too good or too nice to date? Is that an uncomfortable vibe? That is a very good question. I just want to say I hate that. Like, you're too good for me. I'm too, like, what?
It is the worst. That literally just happened.
I think that's a sign of insecurity typically. I mean,
very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think there are some situations where you have somebody like, and this is typically before the dating situation. I could definitely, I've been in situations where it's like, I wouldn't shoot at that girl yet because I'm not in the place where I want to, because I feel like I'm not ready to come correct enough. Like, I'm not at the place financially. I don't have this and thing lined up, because when I come, like, I want to come with all of this ready. Like, and that's just how I'm feeling. And I think that's because I'm sensing something in this woman that I deem too good for where I'm currently at. Not too good for who I am, too good for what I done did these last few months. And we need to go ahead and get that together, polish this up before I'm ready to shoot that shot. Now, too nice, I think of those as being two different things. When I think of too nice, I think of that as automatically a red flag. Because when I hear too nice, I hear somebody doing all of the things that you're supposed to do. Just blindly doing all of the like, well, yes, I was supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do this. Because when people typically do that, they feel incredibly entitled. The same thing for nice guys and nice women. if I'm the guy who's like, am I always studying? I'm never getting in trouble. I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and I'm always getting good grades, and I go to my job, and all girls should like me because I'm really nice and I do everything I want, like I'm supposed to, and I'm God fearing. And I feel like when people live their lives through being able to check off their boxes, they all of a sudden feel entitled to the people that they want because they feel that they've done what they were supposed to do.
I want to think about it from a different, flip that perspective, right? So imagine you being in a relationship and she's saying you're too good for me or you're too nice for me. Like, I think that has less to do with being entitled because you clearly have been giving this person everything. Like, that means so you did something right. Like, because I've heard somebody say she's too nice. Like, there's no such thing as somebody being too nice. This is like, so I'm trying to wrap my mind around this whole idea of like being entitled. Like, that to me, it doesn't correlate. Go ahead, Lauren, because I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, I think that with you, I think that's more so with somebody that may be used to dysfunction, and then it's like, a world breaker when they see somebody actually doing all the stuff that they've never been used to. So I think that's why they say that. Being too good, yeah, that's definitely true with what Taylor said, as far as like you may not want to approach this person yet just because you may think that you don't have your stuff together. But at the same time, I think that could be misused because nobody's perfect either. So some people can use that and say, well, I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to mess with them. And really, it's like you need to just go ahead and do it. Like, it can be to your detriment too to think that you're not good enough to mess with somebody. So it just depends. You got to have a keen sense of what's good enough.
And it's good versus prepared. Like, I've had a situation where I've met someone that was an amazing person, but the place that I was in was not one that was where I was emotionally fit enough to pursue anything further. So it wasn't necessarily that they were too good. It was, I was unprepared.
I see.
For that particular situation at that point in time.
Yeah. Readiness is a thing. Absolutely. Thanks for that question, Black Media. Yeah. That's really good. So, any final words? I'm gonna wrap it up a little bit. I kind of want to say Mondays is our thing, but I don't know. Black Media said some relationships are just perfectly matched. Everything feels effortless, little to no arguments in the relationships, etc. We have to know and be ready for what we want from a partner, in my opinion. I agree.
Is that what I am on me?
Huh?
Nothing. I don't know what these abbreviations.
In my opinion. It took me a while. I had to Google it one day. I was like, what is IMO? Oh, what is there was another one called ISO, or is it ISO? And I was like, does that mean like I'm seeking out?
I just learned STG means swear to God, so I don't know.
No way, I didn't know that.
Thank you, because I've seen that one. Age.
I thought y'all knew what that was.
I thought that was like an ending when you end a sentence or something. Sometimes I'd be like, like
I don't know.
fin, right? Like stage.
Just
like,
spell it out.
Y'all starting to make me feel old.
But Taylor, you be on Twitter though. Like, that's the thing. I took a lot of years off of Twitter, and I just got back on Twitter.
Tweet. I have a Twitter, but I don't tweet. Every tweet that I have on my Twitter says, "Hey, I'm about to get back on this app."
No, you ain't missing nothing.
That's all I have for Twitter.
Oh my God,
I'm not missing a thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been cool. Any final words? I gotta figure out what another topic for Lauren and friends, but I'm enjoying this. Lauren, Kame, Taylor, TJ, how did you enjoy Lauren and friends? Lauren, Melissa, and friends.
I always enjoy time with you, Lo. Always good conversations, good vibes.
It was a nice, relaxing space. Got to chit chat with some friends.
Yay.
The friends from
non-judgmental space.
Friends from college, exactly.
Years, 10+ years.
Isn't that crazy?
Yo.
Isn't it?
Y'all, we all knew each other from college.
Yeah.
But we didn't go to the same college. That's so wild.
I love your show.
Like I said, I spent a lot of time in Grand Valley.
Yeah.
With a lot of time in Western. Oh, you missed good times, friend.
I just stayed at Western. I'm minding my business. Lauren, you went to Grand Valley too? Not you, girl, not girl Lauren, guy Lauren.
Boy Lauren,
yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yay. Thank you so much. Great show, great energy. Thank you so much.
I think maybe it was a Greek thing, man.
Oh yeah, because I'm not Greek.
We was trying to hit the road.
That's true. All the time.
He said, "I'm done."
Tiffany, I found a video in my phone from one of the many trips back and forth to Western.
Were you freestyling?
Well, I was freestyling. I found it. That is classic and gold. It's the best ever.
Lauren had the bars. Oh
Go ahead, load that one up.
In the morning.
I'm definitely not loading that one up. That's a blackmail. That's a blackmail joint. That's one of them joints you play when I'm trying to run for office, and then you play it, and it's a wrap. Pack up the campaign office, sis. You lost.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up,
y'all. They found it.
That's the secret weapon.
It is, and I had to dig too. It was buried. Only one. I mean, I don't know if Janae still got it, but yeah.
I think the only thing that I would have,
I had nothing but a laugh.
Embarrassing stuff. I feel like the only thing that I would still have is like my old laptop. Like everything else, and then got destroyed and all that. But I think that laptop might have some stuff.
It's two Soras up here.
Where's the camera?
Oh, dope.
Right there.
Oh, you was Zeta too, TJ?
This is the Tiffany.
Lauren?
Yeah. This is the Tiffany. This is a Tiffany that is coming to LA. TJ, can make.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
I ain't got none of that, so. So I'm ready, girl.
All right, y'all. We finna call it a night. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's edition of Lauren and Friends, where we talked about why is dating so hard. If you missed it, go back and watch it. We kind of just talked about the different ebbs and flows of dating in 2022. We did end that segment with answering the question, why is dating so hard? We heard from Lauren, we heard from Kamei, but we didn't hear from TJ and Taylor in one sentence, two sentences or less. I get that jacked up all the time. Tell us why dating is so hard.
A lack of emotional maturity and a lack of communication skills.
The emotional. Okay. You want something tonight?
All right, TJ, why is dating so hard?
That plus a lack of understanding of self, and a lack of time spent healing through things that may negatively impact you. Carrying baggage when you should have left the shit at home.
Left it at home. You should have left that shit on the side of the road for the sanitation people. But whatever.
It's gonna hurt so bad.
For the sanitation
bags
like that. Right. That was my song. Okay.
I could not. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. We out of here. It's been so much fun. All right, I'm out. Bye. 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 Bye.